We all encounter ideas in our lives that we understand to be incorrect, wrong, or simply bad ideas. These bad ideas can take the form of relatively harmless false beliefs, like the Earth being flat or the universe being a computer simulation. In other cases, though, the bad ideas can take the form of harmful false beliefs, like that all vaccines are inherently dangerous, or that mental illness is always just an excuse for bad behavior. And in the worst cases, the bad ideas can take the form of dangerous prejudices, like sexism and racism. When something is bad, we naturally want to get rid of it. A physical object or process that we understand to be bad can be relatively simpler to get rid of. A sickness is bad for your health, and you can take medicine. A flood is bad for a town, and you can build a dam. But how do you get rid of an idea? Hello everyone, I'm Critically Mindful, or at least I try to be, and welcome to my thoughts on the division of contemporary society. Before I begin, I would like to bring attention to something that I'll be doing with my videos going forward. Since almost no single script can ever completely capture all that can be said on a given topic, no matter how well researched at the time, I am bound to either make mistakes or be ignorant of some information relevant to the topic in question. With this in mind, the description box of every video I make will have a link to a Google Doc file in which I will add any refinements or supplemental information that could have improved my script if known at the time I wrote it. I hope that this will allow my audience to see my content, even past videos, as adaptable rather than stagnant. With that being said, I'll now move on to the topic at hand. Ideas are invisible, intangible, and inert. However, because they are invisible, intangible, and inert, they can only have an effect when they are held and acted on by people. In order to get rid of the bad ideas they hold and act on, such people can be dealt with, generally speaking, in one of two ways, which I will refer to as elimination and conversion. If we identify a person with the bad ideas they hold and reduce that person to an inseparable incarnation of them, then that person simply is bad in our eyes, and we will seek to eliminate them. This can take several forms. The person can be executed, exiled, imprisoned, or otherwise removed from our environment. On the other hand, if we can distinguish a person from the bad ideas that they hold, and if we regard each and every human being as intrinsically valuable, then we will seek to convert them. In other words, to persuade them to change which ideas they hold or believe. Strategies for conversion, or changing a person's mind, can be thought of as generally falling into two categories: assertion and demonstration. Anyone with an empathetic outlook will see that conversion is clearly the better option over elimination. However, unfortunately, the average person typically lacks the education, critical thinking, and rhetorical skills to effectively demonstrate why they believe the ideas they hold to be true and the ideas that they do not hold to be false. Because of this, some people continue merely asserting. But assertion can only succeed in making an idea seem true by confidently repeating it over and over, whether in the media, in everyday conversation, even regrettably in academia, etc. This approach does not provide any reason why the asserted idea is true, and therefore cannot prepare a person who holds that idea to engage critically with disagreement, and so many choose to abandon conversion altogether for the straightforward path of elimination. The approach of elimination, by necessity, villainizes and dehumanizes those who hold bad ideas, making it easy to attack them. However, in modern nations, liberal democracies in particular, that value freedom of belief and expression, people cannot be executed or imprisoned for simply holding bad ideas. Because of this, modern societies have to find loopholes. For starters, elimination has its own version of assertion, which unfortunately finds a foothold even on the grounds of our academic institutions. simply shout over and harass those who hold bad ideas until they simply give up and shut up. Unfortunately, this is simply the least insidious strategy of elimination in allegedly civil societies. In the age of the internet and social media, the process of elimination has become easily available to each individual. Anyone can create their own personal society wherein anyone who holds bad ideas can be eliminated by simply blocking them. Each user can live in an echo chamber where their own personal social bubble may be the shadowy fringes of another person's. In this way, forcing those who hold bad ideas into the shadows of your world effectively eliminates them from social discourse. And for those who lack empathy and love alienation, it has another added benefit as well. Nearly every ideological community can thrive on having a shadowy enemy that members can rally against. As long as that enemy remains mysterious and in the social shadows, then fear-mongering becomes easier, causing members to feel endangered and more prone to lash out in acts of elimination. And as long as the elimination mentality is mainstream, then anyone who would dare to examine the bad ideas or even show empathy to those who hold them can be easily made to submit under threat of elimination from their own community. Human societies cannot function properly when the different communities that comprise them are constantly regarding one another as irredeemably corrupt, malicious, and/or dangerous. In fact, the only truly dangerous communities are the very ones that view their rivals in that way. If you decide that your opponents are irredeemable, then there is no changing their hearts or minds. And if you decide that they are irredeemably dangerous, then there is no peacefully agreeing to disagree either. There is only getting rid of them. As can clearly be seen in our current state of affairs, this demonizing of ideological opponents, this reduction of a person to a mere embodiment of the bad ideas they hold, comes when we decide that bad ideas always equate with bad intentions. When we come to the conclusion that people with bad ideas cannot be simply mistaken or misled, but rather must be mendacious or malicious, then we will almost certainly make no attempt to understand their perspective or relate to them, as surely we think that we ourselves are always well-intentioned when choosing the beliefs we hold. Therefore, the first step in learning the path of conversion, rather than elimination, must be here. If you can at least grant that the other person might have good intentions, no matter how bad or incorrect or even harmful the ideas they hold may be, then you can begin to try and relate to them, to try and understand how they came to have the beliefs that they do. Only once you have formed this relation can you begin to perhaps use it as a bridge to changing that other person's mind. Only then can the skills of demonstration be effective in persuading them to exchange their beliefs for better ones. Without that bridge of charitable human connection, of trust or good faith, no amount of evidence or reasoning will convince a person who feels themselves dehumanized by the automatic distrust and suspicion of their experience. In light of this, we must have empathy. We must learn how to give and receive demonstration, to have open discourse and honest consideration in the pursuit of truth and meaning. It is the only authentically human option. Until next time, I'm critically mindful, or at least I try to be, and I hope you will too. If you found this insightful, then please share it with others. Take care.